Hi there, I'm Cher Johnston. Welcome to my happy place. How are you all doing today? I'm doing pretty well. I sat down, today's Sunday, and I sat down to work on my little, I don't know, I guess it's a crumb quilt. I watched the Sherry Iris videos where she's showed her method of um, slow stitch, and I liked it a lot. So I did that when I put together my um, my Tula fabrics. And then I just took a bunch of um, little pieces that are they're kind of too big to go in the Orts jar, but you don't really know what to do with them. So I sat down to stitch them together, turned on Rachel, and that's our prompt this week. She's the prompt is an old quilt. I don't have any old quilts. I mean, of course, I have old quilts, but they're mostly in use, right? I don't have any um, that I want to cut up, at least not yet. So anyways, I was sitting down to stitch this. Actually, I was in the middle of stitching this when I turned on Rachel, and what do you know? She did a log cabin. I thought for just a minute about doing a log cabin, and then I decided that I should just add in what I have here. So I made I just stopped at a block big enough to fill in some white spaces here. And I'm going to stitch it down with some, crazy quilt type stitches. And maybe not really crazy quilt. This isn't really a crazy quilt type stitch because it's only, maybe it is. It's a herringbone. I'm just going to go around the outside edge. And I might, when I finish this thread, I might switch to a feather stitch. And that is right now. So I've been working lately on, I set up a Ko-fi page. So now you can buy me a coffee. I'll put a link. And I did a digital of my blue twinchies. I'm going to switch colors, and I'm going to do this green just because. And I'm working on setting up an Etsy store. I'm going to do a video and show my needle books that I have. I'm making a couple more to go in my Etsy store. And we'll see how that goes. I was looking for a job, and I think it's going to be a little hard to find a job if I don't want a job. you know, not that I don't tell people I don't really want to work. I think it just kind of, I don't know, probably comes across. All right, I'm going to switch to a feather stitch here. And besides, I don't need a lot of money. And I want to do this. I want to just continue to do this full time. So why not just, I don't know if crocheted items would sell. I think they would. I could probably make fingerless gloves, fingerless mittens? No, gloves. I have lots of family back in Michigan who wear fingerless gloves. So I made some really adorable mermaid scale fingerless gloves. I made a couple of those. I don't know how much I could sell them for. They're really time consuming. Very, very time consuming. So I don't know if I could sell them for $100 a piece or something. But anyway. At this point, I think I'm going to end, not end the video, but I'm going to, I want to show you, I want to start stitching my pieces down to my backing fabric. In my last video, I showed my backing fabric, and I'm very excited to get started on that. And I want to go from the middle out, and I think I have the middle piece done. I'm not going to sew everything together like you would a normal quilt. You would stitch the entire top together and then quilt it to the backing. But because I'm not doing a normal quilt, I'm going to get started on it because I'm going to sew pieces, and I'm going to share that process with you. So I'll be back later. All right, I have a portion of this sewn onto my fabric. So what I'm doing, of course, I pin it down with safety pins, and then I go to the back. And because it has these stripes on it already, I'm just sewing along the stripes. And what I did is I took each piece of this thread is about as long as the quilt is wide. So what I did is I started at the edge, and then I just left this to hang until it's time to put on the next piece. Now, I can't demonstrate with this huge quilt, so I have a little piece that I'm working on that I'm going to show you. Be right back. Okay, this is Sashiko thread. It's very soft. It's cotton. It's the ends really shred a lot when you pass it through the fabric a lot, but it sort of becomes part of the fabric. I really like the way it feels when it's done, especially if you do lines of stitching that are close together. It feels just amazing. But I'm going to do a demonstration here. Now, I am not at all an expert, but, and this is just the way that I do it, and this is the way I've seen it done. I've seen other people do it. I started here with this, and I left this thread so that I can either tie one to it, or I can do what I'm going to show you here. I'm going to, I took this thread and I just went just as far as I could, and that is sort of sticking out there. I'm going to get rid of it in a minute. I'm going to go back about 2 stitches. I'm just going through the same stitches that are already there, and I'm going to pull it all the way through to the end. Those are going to get cut off, those little ends. Then I'm going to go back I'm going to go back through here again through the same stitches. And then I'm just going to cut these off. Little ends. And sometimes you can kind of see it on the other side, but it doesn't really matter. Sometimes I just do knots in the back, depending on what I'm making and whether or not it's going to show or matter or whatever. This I'm going to just do. I have an idea what I want to do, but I can't really explain. I'd have to just show you. So when I sew with this needle, I have this thimble. I've never used one of those thimbles that you put on the tip of your finger. I've tried and I just can't, I don't know, I can't get it to work. My hand doesn't want to do that. But also when I do just stitching without a thimble, if you're doing this much stitching, like I'm going to stitch the whole quilt, right? If I just do stitching like this and just go back and forth and back and forth, my hand will get very sore. Here, you can even see right there. So I'm teaching myself to use the thimble, this palm thimble. Also, sometimes I I pull it too tight and I have to go back like this and loosen it up a bit. And it's okay if these turning stitches are a little loose. It's fine. So what you want to do is place the eye of the needle on the thimble, and then you're going to put the needle in and like fold the fabric over the needle. I'm going through 2 or 3 layers there. I'll just show you. See, there's like 3 or 4 layers of fabric there, so it's not gonna just slide through. And of course, you know that kind of thing happens when I'm on camera. Of course. All right. All right. Now again, I'm putting the eye of the needle against the thimble. And folding the fabric back and forth on the needle. And my stitches are not necessarily even. I don't really care. That's part of the rustic charm, right? The other thing is that um, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, the other thing is that it's kind of puckery. Like it's not, this piece of fabric was not real smooth before I laid it down, and it's going to be puckery. And if you use a hoop, you can avoid some of the puckeriness. I'm sure that's not a word, but you know what I mean. But I don't like to use a hoop. I like very much to, I like to feel what I'm sewing. That's why I like the slow stitch so much. So last week's Roxy's Journal of Stitchery was a very short video. Although I have worked on it quite a bit. My video was just not very long. And that's going to be the same thing this week. I'm working on it quite a bit, but I'm not going to video, this kind of slow stitching, this kind of Sashiko stitching. I guess I don't have a lot to say this week. Sometimes I like to just jibber jabber, but I don't have much to talk about this week. So there you go. There you have it, and there you go. And I think I'm going to come back with this, and I'll show you what I'm making on this thing. This is fabric that Corinne, To Be Loved Treasures, is it Corinne? Yes. She showed this on her channel. She did a silk ribbon daisy on one of these daisies, and I thought it was adorable. Also, she did some red painting, which I might try again. I've tried it before, and I just don't feel like I'm really good at it, so I don't do a lot of it. Anyway, now I'm just jibber jabbering. So, thanks for watching, and come back again next week. We'll do more Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.